Good morning, my name is Matthew Hugo from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Wednesday the 21st of September. Today's weather brief will cover a summary on the West European 5-day average temperatures, the UK, Europe, Scandinavian precipitation, and finally global weather alerts. Firstly, we'll take a usual summarised look at the mean surface temperatures across Europe. And between days 11 and 15 there is some model divergence today, and as a result confidence levels are only low to medium, if not medium at very best, for temperatures to be generally around or perhaps trending slightly above climate averages across the majority of Europe by around 1 to 3 degrees. However, there is some uncertainty with regards to the expected temperature trends between days 11 and 15. There has generally been no significant changes from yesterday with regards to days 6 to 10, and a particularly warm spell of weather is forecast across the majority of Europe, with temperatures generally above, if not well above climate averages, as is represented by the majority, if not all, of the available forecast models. And finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 days, confidence levels are medium to high, if not high, for the majority of Europe, to have temperatures generally trending slightly above climate averages by around 1 to 3 degrees, particularly across central and western areas of Europe. And now taking a look at the United Kingdom in some closer detail. And between days 11 and 15, as we move towards the weekend of the 1st and 2nd of October, confidence levels are now only low to medium, given that there is model divergence with regards to the expected temperature trends. Some of the more recent GFS deterministic runs, for example, signal temperatures dropping back to near climate averages, yet the majority of the other available forecast models maintain temperatures to be at least 1 or 2 degrees above climate averages, and for the time being that is the expected temperature trend across the UK between days 11 and 15. Between days 6 and 10, as we move through the final week of September, there is model agreement and confidence levels are medium to high to suggest that temperatures will be at least 3 or 4 degrees above a climate mean of around 13 degrees Celsius. However, once again, as you can see within the highlighted red circle, there is model divergence, and as a result there is some uncertainty with regards to just how high or significantly above climate averages temperatures will become. The following weather chart for Thursday the 29th of September helps to illustrate why temperatures are likely to become above climate averages across many central and western areas of Europe, and that is in association with an area of high pressure across eastern Europe combining with low pressure to the northwest of the UK to produce a warm southwesterly air mass across many central and western regions. However, there is model uncertainty with regards to just how warm this southwesterly air mass will be, and hence the uncertainty with regards to how significantly above average temperatures will become. And finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 days, confidence levels are high given very good model agreement and consistency for temperatures to be initially near to climate averages, before then rising and becoming perhaps 1 or 2 degrees above climate norms over the weekend of the 24th and 25th of September. So in summary, despite some uncertainty with regard to just how significantly above climate average temperatures will become, confidence levels do remain high that next week and the final week of September will produce some particularly warm weather for late September across the UK. And now taking a look at the expected European temperatures in some closer detail. In between days 11 and 15, confidence levels are only low to medium today, given that there is some model divergence with regards to the expected temperature trends. Some of the recent GFS deterministic runs, for example, signal temperatures actually becoming below climate norms, yet in contrast the Metro model maintains temperatures to be at least 2 or perhaps 3 degrees above climate averages. Overall, temperatures are forecast to be generally near or trending 1 or 2 degrees above climate norms between days 11 and 15. The latest France model comparison graph helps to illustrate this situation, and as you can see as we move into the opening week of October, some of the recent GFS deterministic runs, as represented by the solid blue lines, do begin to signal temperatures dropping near to climate averages. However, in contrast, the other available forecast models and also my specific temperature forecast continues to maintain temperatures generally 2 or perhaps 3 degrees above a climate mean of around 16 degrees Celsius. Generally, there's been very little change compared with the last 24 or 48 hours with regards to days 6 to 10. There is very good model agreement and consistency with regards to temperatures generally being at least 3 or 4 degrees above climate norms across many central and western areas of Europe. However, there is some uncertainty with regards to just how significantly above climate averages temperatures will become. I have used the latest Benelux model comparison graph to help illustrate this situation, and as you can see as we move through the final week of September, all of the available forecast models, including my specific temperature forecast as represented by the solid red line, signal temperatures to be at least 3 to 5 degrees above climate averages. There is some model divergence, and hence there is some uncertainty with regards to just how significantly above averages temperatures will become. And finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 days, confidence levels are high, given very good model agreement for the majority of Europe to have temperatures very near to climate averages, or perhaps just beginning to trend slightly above by 1 or 2 degrees across parts of Switzerland, France, the United Kingdom, and also Iberia, for example. And now moving on and taking a look at the expected precipitation totals across Scandinavia. And within the short term, over the next 7 to 10 days, confidence levels are medium to high to suggest that the majority of Scandinavia, but particularly Norway and northern regions of Sweden and Finland, are forecast to have precipitation totals above climate averages, while southern regions of Sweden, for example, generally remain near or perhaps even trending slightly below. There is some uncertainty within the longer term. However, the majority of the available forecast models maintain precipitation totals to be well above climate averages across most regions of Norway and also Finland. Norway may well experience in excess of 125 millimetres of rainfall, yet some southern regions of Sweden may well experience precipitation totals below climate norms. And now moving on to take a look at global weather alerts, which highlight significant deviations from normal. And there is a continued and very strong signal from many western areas of the United States, particularly over the next 7 to 10 days, to have temperatures at least 8 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit above climate norms. Mean surface temperatures generally ranging between 75 and 85 degrees are forecast in what is expected to be a very warm, if not hot, spell of weather for late September. And finally, there is also a signal, particularly within the next 7 to 10 days, for many southern regions of Brazil to have precipitation totals generally well below climate averages. Most regions are expected to experience less than 50 or even 20% of normal precipitation totals in what is forecast to be a generally dry spell of weather, again, especially over the next 7 to 10 days. Thank you for listening to today's weather brief. Goodbye.